where the brightest young stars of the game battle for glory on Hoi An Shores Golf Club, Vietnam. With world-class talent, rising stars, and a path to the sport's biggest stages, this is where champions are made. Get ready for 4 days of incredible competition as these elite amateurs shape the future of women's golf. The Asia Pacific Golf Confederation, in association with the R&A, is proud to bring you round one coverage of the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. Hello and a warm welcome to day one of an event that began in 2018 and one that's already made its mark in the game. The 7th staging, and for the first time, Vietnam, the host nation. 95 players from 24 countries trying to become the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific champion. Let's catch up with what's been happening already today. I'm Richard Kaufman, alongside me, former Ladies European Tour player Sophie Walker. And Sophie, the scoring's been good.
Yeah, Seonjun Park had this par putt at the last, unfortunately, her 9th hole. It was her only bogey of the day. She shot 7 under par, taking advantage of the scoring conditions with the wind was quite benign this morning, but she was part of the Korean team that won the 2024 World Junior Girls Championship in Canada at the end of last year, so a fantastic start for Park.
Yeah, the 16-year-old leading the way. 64, one shot outside the championship record score of 63. And good enough for a one-shot lead over 4 players in with rounds of 65. You can see from this afternoon scoring, a couple of players have moved to 3 under par, Jazzy Roberts and Ping Hua Xie. And lots of players going along nicely. Nice start from Pimada Wong Tananavimok. Couple under from her. Good Thai contingent, and we know Thailand have a terrific record in this championship. Ella Galitsky and Gino Titakun amongst the winners. It's been pars all the way so far from Mamiki Shinch.
And Mamiki wasn't too well yesterday. She had to pull out of press conferences, so it's nice to see her out on the golf course. You can see the wind getting up. This is a coastal links golf course in Vietnam.
Yeah, steady start from her. Steady start as well from Shiraya Sriwong, and this a really good chance, Sophie, to pick up a first birdie of the day.
Yeah, uphill, left to right. Oh, just missed that one on the low side. Par 71, there are 4 par 5s and 5 par 3s.
Big news about the 3rd member of that group. We'll come to that in just a moment. First, we'll pop off to 9 with Yun Seo Yang.
Flag today, 34 on, 9 from the left-hand side. Huge greens here.
Yeah, undulating as well. Yun Seo's just birdied the 7th and 8th, so she's up to a couple under par. Yeah, I mean, that's a good example of the size of the putting surfaces. It's kind of a links-like golf course, and we'll see a lot of waste sand areas as well, Sophie. It's very distinctive, isn't it?
It sure is. We actually don't have bunkers here, even though we can see on the screen. They are waste bunkers, so there'll be no raking of the sand. So it's play it as it lies.
This is Grace Quintanilla, the Filipina player, who's had 3 birdies, a couple of drop shots, and hopefully about to make it 4 birdies for the round. That's unfortunate. Yeah, big news about her teammate, Rianne Malixi, the tournament favourite, the world number 4, the US Women's Amateur Champion. The news is that Rianne, unfortunately, is no longer on the golf course. She was out there in that group with Aoshira Sriwong and Mamika Shinch, but she has withdrawn after just 5 holes of this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific, so no longer in this championship.
Vivian Liu started with a couple of bogeys and has fought back to level par. Beautiful approach shot into 9, looking to get under par for that front 9 now.
Off to the par 3/8 then, with this group that is missing Malixi.
137 yards, a middle pin. It all slopes from right to left, this green, so you can use the contours.
It's interesting, isn't it? You look at Sri Wong and Shinch, not a bogey or a birdie between them so far. And how will it upset the rhythm now that Malixi's not amongst them?
Yeah, it will. I mean, these players are teeing off towards the end, so they've got the traffic jam in front of them as well. It means, yes, they can take more time, which might help because the wind conditions are getting up, but the favourite is now out. So you've got to be thinking, well, for me, that's great, but also, how is she? There would have been a slowness out there, I assume, when the physio came out to check how Rianne was. Unfortunately, last year, on the final round, when she went to bed on the Saturday night, she got a cold, a fever, and didn't play well on the Sunday and ended up coming tied fifth. So she's been very unlucky here.
Well, the reaction didn't suggest that was where the ball was going to finish, but it's all smiles now for the world number 32, the third highest ranked player in the field. This is the hole they've just been teeing off at.
Today playing 137 yards. The wind is into from the right-hand side. So yes, you could afford to leak it out to the right, and that contour from right to left that I was talking about will just bring the ball down to the cup. These greens, as I said, 49 yards long this one is, and that is just average for this golf course. So you might hit 18 greens today, but you might have 40 putts. It's one of those, but you can see that the wind really getting up. The East Sea is what we're playing on, and just like any links golf course, in the morning the weather is still, and then in the afternoon it picks up.
Well, the official line is that Rianne Malixi has a back strain which just became too uncomfortable for her to continue with. She had a double bogey at the first hole. She was 3 over par when she walked off the course. Now this is an outside chance, but it is for 3 birdies in a row. And I suppose that's going to be one of the keys that we're going to see not only today, but as the week goes on. It's about where you leave your ball on the green. As you can see there from Yunseo, you're leaving yourself in 3-putt territory where she was.
Exactly. It's a course that your approach play needs to be very good. Off the tee, it's quite generous, but you need to be on it with your numbers, and we can see the grain here on the greens. This is a birdie putt on 11 for Wang to get herself back to 1 over. Oh, walking that one in, superb.
So Xinyang Wang, the Malaysian, moves to 1 over par. That was her first birdie of the day, and a very unlikely one as well. Lovely warm conditions, a nice sea breeze as well. So as you can see, Rianne Malixi, the US Women's Amateur Champion, has withdrawn. We're looking at Mamika Shinch and Aishwarya Sriwong. Sriwong third last year in her hometown, in her home country, where she closed with a 66. Actually played in this event when she was just 13 years of age, and made the cut as well. That was also at Siam Country Club, where you were only a couple of weeks ago.
I was indeed, watching Angel Yin be victorious on the LPGA Tour, but the crowds were huge for Gino Titican, who was a winner of this event and an idol to all of these Thai players. A swinging right to left putt here for birdie.
Yeah, Mamika was keeping a close eye on that. That was right over her line. So Sriwong third last year. Mamika Shinch has had a couple of top 10s in her previous Women's Amateur Asia Pacific starts. That's going to be a drop shot, unfortunately, for one of the Aussie contingent, Sarah Hammett. You know, and they'd gone out this afternoon, these players, and they'd have seen, you know, 64, 65s posted. It adds to the pressure a little bit.
It does, and winning this event, you gain access to the AIG Women's Open at Porthcawl down in South Wales in the summer, and this is something that they'll probably have to contend with there, the fact that the morning is just a totally different golf course. And this afternoon, it's about playing well, trying to limit your mistakes. If you can get it par or under, then that'll be a good day. And then tomorrow, when the draw changes, you're out in the morning, you can make the most of it. This one, a cut from right to left for birdie.
Didn't learn off the putt of Wong. So pars remain the way in that group. Vivian Liu would love a par here. So out in 37 for the Kiwi.
Needs some attention, there's still some movement. Yeah, good two-putt, remains at level par.
Well, we've seen it in the past, this event, a launch pad for the next generation of international golf stars. Who is going to emerge this week? Early stagings, but a terrific pace set by Seojin Park this morning with that 64, even with a drop shot. Guyana Golf shores here on the east coast of Vietnam. Confirmation of that 64 from Seojin Park. Bunch of 65s
first day
in there as well. Ariana Line, Leon Higo, Sumin Hong and Anna Iwanaga. Yeah, this golf course built on the site of a former fish farm, and it is a spectacular setting by the coastline. We'll get to see it on the back nine, the views of the Eastern Sea, the Cham Islands, and as we're seeing, the wind just picking up in the afternoon, just going to make scoring conditions a little trickier here on day one of this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. So this is the 9th hole.
A dogleg left to right, it works its way up the fairway towards the clubhouse. There's bunkers left and right. And actually the line is on that right-hand side of the clubhouse. Wind into from the right. Driver.
Yeah, this hole's been playing downwind, so open up your shoulders here, try and get it down there, and probably only leave yourself about 100 yards or so in.
17-year-old from Japan, also with driver. Like I say, it's generous off the tee, this golf course, especially for the accurate women amateurs.
And I bet Mamika Shinch was, well, she's watching this one with a little bit of concern because it's heading towards the sand wasteland down that left-hand side. A little bit of a mistake there from Mamika Shinch. Let's look at this from above.
You can see the bunker or the wasteland on that left-hand side. It starts at 216 yards and finishes at 265, so she will be in the sand. The fairway gradually slopes from left to right, and then we have a two-tiered green here. The pin is back left, 34 on, 9 from the left-hand side. And just like the fairway, everything slopes from left to right.
Yeah, plenty of levels on that green, as there are. I mean, there's some greens that got about 5 or 6 different levels. But just thinking about Mamika Shinch and her mindset, they both parred every hole so far. Mamika actually had to go to hospital on Tuesday when she got food poisoning and was on a drip. And then you see one of the other members of your group walk off. Your mind must be racing a little bit. She's at level par, as is Chen, Yuchu Chen of Chinese Taipei. 1 birdie, 1 bogey so far from her.
Nice birdie try there by the Australian Reeves. That one breaking severely from left to right. Sarah Anand from India using the contours nicely there.
Yeah, great birdie look coming up for her. Well, she held on about 3 times at this length on the last green. But look at that. That's a really good example. You've got a great birdie look. Now, she's struggling for par. And that's the way things can go here. We are in the 7th edition of this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific, and already we have a great roll call of champions from the previous 6.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful.
Beauty.
And that is a lovely way to finish off the week.
She's found in the bottom of the cup.
Fabulous putt from the Thai player.
The best we have seen.
Got a chance. It's got a chance. All the way for Chunwei. Yeah, Chunwei Oo, the winner last January at the Waterside course at Siam Country Club, and can't help but think, you know, you don't quite realise it when you're in Singapore back in 2018, but you're watching Gino Chitakun, Yuka Sasso and Patti Tavatanaka and the likes. We knew about Gino. She'd already won at that point on the Ladies European Tour, but I mean, really, it's a who's who of, you know, the top 20 in the world right now.
It is, and you know, a food away as well. And I was over in Singapore last week for the LPGA event, and they were all asking, oh, it's WAP next week, is that's what they call it? And their faces light up, that the experience that they had in the amateur golf, and this event is just so prestigious because of what you get from winning it. You get an invite to the women's amateur event, which is at Nern this year. Then you get a handful of major championships: AIG Women's Open, a Monday Evian Championship, the Chevron Championship, a ticket to Augusta in a couple of weeks' time. It's really is the opportunity. It looks like it's going to be a layup here. I mentioned that there is no rakes in the bunkers, but there isn't a stance here for Shinchi either.
Well, that's the punishment for missing the fairway. I mean, you can see it is a wide enough fairway, so it was a poor miss by her standards from Mamiki Shinch. Now, what an opportunity. 2 wonderful shots so far from the Indian player, and this to get her back to 2 over par for the 16-year-old.
Oh, such a shame. Just on the high side, she double bogeyed the 9th hole as well, so that would have been a bounce back. First birdie of the day.
She didn't want it though, did she? She wants her first eagle of the day.
Shirong here with that right to left slope, just trying to curtail a 9-iron in there. Nice. And you're going to see a lot of that, a lot of 3/4 swings. And you do wonder how much links golf some of these players have actually played. In the press conference, they were talking about it's very new to me, this style of golf course.
Well, maybe good practice for the champion when they tee it up at Royal Porthcawl later this year. Pole position right now is the 16-year-old from Korea, Seo Jun Park. She's led the way with a round of 64. Yeah, a lot of players under par. 1 under at the moment, only good enough to leave you in a share of 24th. Hayley Lowe, one of 4 players that have teeing it up this week for the 5th time in this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. Hayley at round in 1 under, or I should say level par, 71.
There's Grace Quintanilla, just getting the pace of these greens. As I said, you're going to have a lot of 40, 50 foot puts out here.
So 3rd shot here for Shinch.
inside 100 yards. I do think what is unusual about this golf course is we see the lanterns, the traditional Vietnamese lanterns, so you can't see the flag blowing, can you? So here we are thinking, oh, which way is the wind going? It's coming from right to left. The ball's slightly below her feet, so that one should counteract the wind. With a wedge, looking to stick this one close and get it up and down.
A bit like that, almost up and in. What a shot from Shinch. And that will be a 9th successive par to start at Hoi An Shores. How good was this?
Well, just look how she works out the slope. So she's kind of opening herself up on the way through and letting the wind hit it. Pinpoint accurate. Tap that one in for a par.
I know it's early, but we could call that sensational.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I'm here all week, ladies and gentlemen, yes.
I won't be if you carry on like that.
It's been a tough day for Ijaz so far. Yeah, got off to a tough start, did Parker. But birdie and a par in the last 2 holes from the player from Pakistan. Well, what a third. What a par. And an interesting card. 9 straight pars, but she'll have a spring in her step now. Walking to the back 9, par 5 to come, reachable.
And also the front 9 is the difficult of the 9s. It's actually playing over par, so that is a solid start. We have a birdie look, though, on this 9th hole. It's about 140 yards in and hit it here to 12 feet. And a rare birdie, actually, on the 9th. It's playing one of the difficult holes on this front 9. Yeah, double breaker.
Only been 5 so far today. Just about remains that way. Well, 2 different 4s, but pars all the way like Shinch for Sri Wong. Sakura Tori makes a birdie. She's wrapped up well, isn't she? The Japanese player.
Missed this length on the 10th hole and has missed it down the left-hand side again. It's a carbon copy. And as I mentioned, these greens are big. There's a lot of undulation and grain especially, so it's very easy for it to get in your head. Look at Grace Paul in there thinking, how did that move that way? It's just all the grain.
This at the 7th, this to match the 3 that we've just seen from Tori, and nicely done from Jing Hang Tui. Yeah, all pars until that point, so she gets to 1 under. 4 under the leading score right now out on the course, and it's 2 players who are on the other side of the course, Ping Hua Xie of Chinese Taipei and Jazzy Roberts of Australia. They just both birdied the 2nd hole to move to 4 under par, but they got the trickier 9 to play. The back 9, you look at especially the final 3-4 holes, there's a lot of birdies to be made in the closing stretch.
The 11th hole, par 4, left-hand side pin. That'll get better and better.
Well, the 7th edition of this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. The first time we are in Vietnam. And it's lovely to be here on this wonderful layout. We can hear now from the General Manager, Wee Peng Sion.
We are not a very old golf course. We are only about 5 years old. So being able to be selected to host such an event it's an honor for us. When we built this golf course, we are the first in Southeast Asia to adopt the geo golf course construction principles, you know, for sustainability. So if you look around, we hardly use any plastic. If you look at the tee boxes, you know, they are not flat because it follows the natural contour of the land. It's an integrated resort. You know, we have a beach club, we have pickleball, and we have every other kind of entertainment that you can think of. A golf club just adds to that, you know, especially being a top 100 golf course in the world. You know, the golf population in Southeast Asia will flock here. This is a links golf course. Predominantly is situated next to the sea, you know, so you have the windswept sand dunes and all that. So we just shape them and we grass them. I would say probably number 17. You know, if you play it in the morning, you can see the Charm Islands, just like in Turnberry, you can see the Ilse. In the evening, you know, the sun sets there, you know, so it's a beautiful place to take a picture. And then you right into the sunset on 18. So I would say 17 is one of the signature holes.
Yeah, there's a bit of competition, isn't there, between 16 and 17. There's the ideal spot, but it's a part of the world where golf is growing, that's for sure, Vietnam, and it's wonderful to be here on the East Coast at Hoi An shores. At the tips playing about 6,300 yards, but today playing just under 6,200. But it is a spectacular settings here on the shores of the East Sea. Back to the action, Vivian Liu at the par 5 10th.
You can hear the wind gusting, front left pin. Oh, just missed that landing spot. Takes it another 6 yards higher, it releases down to the cup.
Yeah, it was the first golf course in Vietnam, designed by Robert Trent Jones Jr. Sakura Tori off the back of that birdie at 7, now at this par 3/8.
Sounded fantastic, and the result wasn't bad either, setting up a birdie chance there.
Looks like she's just avoided the long grass here. Makes a big difference for Yang.
Certainly does. Look at the spin that she could get from that fescue. Robert Trent Jones Jr. is the course designer, so those of you that have watched major championships at Chambers Bay, it's got that feel to it.
It's going to be a lengthy one coming up for Zheng. Back to the par 5 10th, hammered out of the sand.
Now, Sarah nearly won a Ladies European Tour event a couple of years ago down in Bombville on the east side of Australia, so it just shows the pedigree of her. She's going to USC, she's committed there, which is where Gabby Ruffles, the Australian that plays on the LPGA Tour, that's where she went.
Yeah, she had a good old chat to Gabby about that. Highly recommended it. That's a lovely touch from Anand. You can see even from our camera, which sometimes flattens things out, the angle here.
Vivian Liu sending this one high from right to left. And she'll be happy about next year's destination for the 8th edition down in Wellington, the Kiwi, rocking the bucket hat.
Just chased that one past as Han. That was a birdie attempt.
It's been on good form as Sarah. She came second in the Australian Amateur this summer down in that southern hemisphere, from left to right.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You look at the previous champions, we haven't had an Australian winner. Been quite consistent in doing so too. The last 3 men's Asia Pacific Amateur champions have been from Australia. Yeah, no Australian winner, no Korean winner, no winner from the Philippines. You thought with Malixi favourite this year, maybe that was coming to an end, but if you are just joining us, Malixi has withdrawn this afternoon after just 5 holes of this opening round. Back strain, the official line that we're hearing, which is why Ashiraya Sriwong and Mamika Shinch are playing as a 2-ball now, our featured group. This is the group ahead of them, Yun Seo Yang, who bogeyed the 9th, and this to avoid another drop shot here at 10.
It really does test your patience, especially if you're not making birdies or pars on those par 5s.
Yeah, this is going to be pacey for Tveit. Down the slope it comes. She's judged it beautifully. What a putt. The green's running about 10.4 on the stimp. Can't really do more than that because of the wind and the slopes of the greens.
And those are the type of aggressive putts that you need to hit, especially when this wind is getting up. Not the greatest start, 3 over through the opening 2 holes, but has held it together, fought back, and anything around that level par will be good today.
Yeah, and a compatriot to Ann Lei-chuk, what a back 9 from her. She came back in just 30 shots. She birdied 3 of her last 4 holes. That's why we got a player from the host nation inside the top 10 on the leaderboard. Back to 10.
Just a layup here. Uphill second shot. Favour the left half. Just leaked that one a touch to the right.
Yeah, not a great build-up for her, is it, when you end up in hospital on Tuesday on a drip?
No, and you know, you have to keep saying how young these players are to be away from home and not very well. It's difficult. Uphill here, that's not ideal. This one will send high into the sky, and you want to try and beat it down when this wind is pumping. Oh, turn the face over, and it's all about how lucky the lie is. We can see some bare patches and some quite thick rough there. So how's your luck? Par 5, 10th hole, 531 yards today. And look at those waste bunkers starting exactly at the landing point. But what we don't see enough, I don't think, on the television is just how undulating this golf course is, and the lies that you can get from hitting the middle of the fairway, balls miles above your feet or below your feet.
And back to the ocean as well for the first time. So
yeah,
if I know you're looking at the flag position, I'm looking at the sea.
That's me and you, isn't it? You're all culture and prettiness, and I'm smack bang into the golf. But as soon as you see the sea and you're facing the sea, the chances are you're going to be back into the wind. We can actually see a walking into the wind there, can't we?
Yeah, when we get to around 16 and 17 as well, around the back 9, that's when the ocean comes into view as well. Nicely judged as well. Par 3, 12th. Yu Chu Chen. One of those heading into this back 9 at level par. Chance to get in amongst the leaders. And same case for Tori.
Well, nobody's hit this putt high enough from right to left. Oh, forgot to hit it. I think the wind's starting to affect the greens out there. Now, they can't have them too fast. They're just over 10 on the stint meter because of how windy it can be. So we'll see players maybe looking to use some slope, and often it might get held up because of the wind. And we saw that there on the putts.
Back to the par 5 10th. Third highest ranked player in the field. We know the highest in Malixi has now withdrawn. Sumin Oh, the other player who started the week in the top 10 of the women's amateur golf rankings. Sumin with a round of 68 this morning, so well placed just outside the top 10 at 3 under par.
Ball above her feet, so this one is going to want to go to the left-hand side. She'll have to hold that face firm, start it right of the pin.
And it could get confusing at some points during the week because we've got Seojin Park leading at 7 under par. We've also got Seojin Park finishing at 3 under par. There are 2 Seojin Parks. One of them has Seojin as one first name, the other has it split into 2. But yeah, let's hope we make sure we get the right one as the week goes on. Here's Sri Wong.
Sounded good.
Looks good. That is some shot from there. I mean, I'll tell you what, we saw a great up and down at the last. I think that one might be equally as good. So there is, I suppose we can call her the #1 Seojin Park, certainly by the world ranking, 64 from her, even with a bogey finish. And it's good enough for the Korean to have a 1-shot advantage. Jazzy Roberts, the 20-year-old Australian, in her 3rd Women's Amateur Asia Pacific, has just picked up another birdie to get to 5 under par. And there is the other Seojin Park with a round of 68 in that share of 12th place. Mentioned Sumin Oh, who's ranked 9th in the world, 68 from her as well. And Jie and Lin, a name to watch out for, really talented player from Chinese Taipei, who has performed well in some of the professional events in China. Good start from her, 3 under through the first 7. Level par only good enough to be in a share of 34th right now, including, you saw, the players we are watching.
Oh dear, caught that one clean out of the sand. But she stuck it in reverse. Oh, hello.
Do you think she meant that? Just say yes.
Yes. I think she was trying to use the backboard, but didn't quite anticipate in taking it so high.
Bimpisa Rubrong, who you saw a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, Thai sensation. Qualified for an LPGA event over at Siam Country Club. And here is why. Look at that for a golf shot.
Yeah, day 1, she got it to 4 under par and was in amongst the leaders, slipped back in the end, but played some nice golf for the week, finished just outside the top 40. Shinch trying to break this par run.
It's a curler from right to left. About 3 or 4 cups, and it's into the wind, so it'll be very slow.
Well, let's hope when she does break the par run, it is with a birdie. (17) now, Mamika, 3rd Women's Amateur Asia Pacific for her. Well, she judged the slope well, just maybe a little too firm from Anand. Now, come on, we need to see a birdie from these two.
Second easiest hole on the golf course. Wong loops one in there.
Little fist bump as well. Smile on the face for Aishwarya, and she is up and running. Well, we know this one's going to move a little left to right for Yuchi Chen. Dealing with the greens at Hoi An Shores. It's probably going to be the #1 task for these players. We've seen this putt already down the slope.
Lin for a 2. Watch this one come. Everything but wonderful pace control there.
Yeah, Jian Lin, who's made an excellent start to this opening round. 14-year-old. I remember watching Jian Lin last year. She was the second youngest player in the field last year. Missed the cut, but all, you know, wonderful experience back a year later, and there she is off to a fast start.
Wong looking to get this back to level par.
Yeah, one of those that did a scouting mission at this course a couple of weeks ago before she played in that LPGA event in Thailand. Stayed here a couple of days, played a couple of rounds, so she would have seen this 11th hole before.
A dog leg from right to left. You just want to keep it down that right side. The waste bunker pretty much starts at the tee and goes all the way to about 70 yards short of this green. Sits across you, which never makes it easy. Makes that green depth hard to negotiate. But everything moves in from left to right and right to left. So he opts in for a 3-wood here just to try and find the skinny part of the fairway. It does nip in on that left-hand side at 260. And that wind is down from the right now, so it really will have that waste bunker on your mind if you did happen to turn it over.
Feels like these two players are pacing themselves well, aren't they? Because you don't want to be standing around and waiting too long, which is why I suppose Mamika Shinch isn't really in a hurry here to hit her tee shot. She knows that, you know, if they hurry up here, they're only going to be waiting on their second shot, seeing as they're playing with a 2-ball and everyone else is playing in a threesome. Should be downwind now with the sea behind.
You just want to manoeuvre a draw, wiggle it around those 2 sets of wasteland bunkers. I'm still going to call them bunkers because as a player you want to be picturing something. So
well,
she's going to...
There are actually some bunkers in the middle of the fairways as well in 1 or 2 holes, but they're also considered as wasteland and not bunkers. You can ground your club in them, can't you? Is that right?
She's got the left again. We saw her do that on the 9th. She was looking worriedly at that. Now, that's a good decision, you know, because if she's hit driver there, it will be tweaked and it will go into the sand. But yes, you can touch the sand. It's always hard to get your head around that, I think, when you see somebody do that.
Sometimes players know they can ground their club, but they don't actually do it because of the instinct takes over. Quintanilla rolls one in beautifully, back to level par for the Philippine player. Nice response to those drop shots and those missed putts at 11 and 12. Well, it's a spectacular setting on the coastline in the east of Vietnam. Been described as a tropical links, this golf course. It's on a sand-based turf, and the players are enjoying. You see the scores going through. plenty of rounds in the 60s. And there's one or two out on the course right now, none better than Jazzy Roberts at 5 under, who are having a good time. And it's great to see so many nationalities as well this year. We've got 95 players from 24 countries and territories. And putting in good displays, most of them as well. You can see 34 players under par right now.
Coming from the high side here on 9, this one will go downhill, move from left to right, and then it'll creep back on her at the end. Still going to be a mighty fine front 9 here for Tori, looking to tap that one in and go out in under par. And there's going to be a huge difference between morning and afternoon scoring statistics, and this is why they're out there playing 72 holes. We have a cut, we have a morning and an afternoon draw. It's very much set up like a professional tournament would be.
I mean, this clubhouse as well is spectacular. You can see it from many parts of the golf course.
This is a good leave here for Zhang, uphill. When talking about professional events, they'll also get an invite to the Hana Financial Group Championship. They'll get the ISPS Handa Australian Open, as well as those major championships.
Just tapping in here, all 3 players in this group are making their debut. 4 players in this for the 5th time, but Emma, who's off to Iowa State University next year, knocks that in for front 9 of 3 over. That's tap out there at 11, which leaves the green clear for the 2 ball that are waiting behind.
Down this left side, it's a lot flatter a lie. You'll be hitting more into the wind.
Should be Sri Wong here to go first. Well, she is looking across to Mimika Shin just to say, is it me? Yeah, they're not too sure, are they? Me or you? Well, there's their answer.
Good flag today. It's towards the back of the green. If you do happen to tweak it left, you will run out of green and hit it into the bunkers down that left-hand side. So favour right of the flag. Just a wedge.
Same story, wedge in hand for Sri Wong. She is dialed in right now. We saw that at 9, seen it there at 11. Off the back of a birdie at 10 as well.
Now from the upslope, it's easier for this to balloon in the air and go left on you. But just look how she holds that finish. The divot is straight down that right-hand side. Really strong impact position there, did not flip it over, and has set up a birdie opportunity to start this back 9 in style.
Jazzy Roberts on her back 9, the front 9 of this golf course. She's playing the course the other way around at 5 under par. Manu Bra from Pune in India, #1 Indian amateur, putting together a round of 67. And Megan Lee adding 4 under par. Yeah, good tyre representation on that page of the leaderboard as well. Krichania and Pimada, both a couple under out on the golf course. You can see Faith Vui there as well. A couple under par, 19-year-old. Last year she became the first Samoan to play in this event, and her brothers have all played in the Asia Pacific Amateur as well, the men's side. Well, this is a birdie putt in name, Sophie.
It's 14th hole, par 3. It's only 100 yards, so has missed the slope, which she now has to negotiate.
Ijaz not quite going as well as Jazzy out on the golf course this afternoon. Parker Ijaz, 7 over. Jazzy Roberts, 5 under par. Well, we saw a beautiful shot from her in at 8. Now up to 9 for Rubrong.
Tall, elegant golf swing, long hitter, and pretty accurate too. Nearly takes the flag out there. I think we can give her that for birdie.
But again, putting a little further away than Sri Wong for birdie.
She can use the ball marker of her playing partner there as a guide. It's downhill, but it's back into the grain, so a reasonably flat putt.
Bit of a misjudgment, that one from Mamika Shin. Should be an 11th successive par, though. This is on the par 3 14th. 3 par 3s on the back 9, which is why it's a 9 of 35. Well, her nickname is One On, as in on in one. Here's Ashirai Swiong, but on in 2 here, but very nicely on in 2 for the 16-year-old.
Say she was born to play golf. That putter sits quite naturally in her hands, doesn't she? This right edge birdie putt to get herself to 2 under par.
What was your nickname on tour? Did you have one?
Oh, my nickname was Walks. That just, yeah, it's just an easy, yeah. What did you have one?
I do have one actually, a golfing nickname as well, yeah.
Oh.
Quintanilla.
Wasn't that, was it?
So no, mine's not Quintanilla. It's Milky, and the reason for that was I had a chance to win a sort of big club event, and I 3-putted from 8 feet and lost the playoff. And in those days, milk had bottles, and because I had no bottle, as in I was called Milky. So there you go. Nothing milky about that one from G.A. Lin. What a front 9 that is. Out in 32 shots for the 14-year-old from Chinese Taipei. Fantastic.
Sarah Hammett taking this one down the right-hand side. Oh, it's just not been the morning that she would have wanted, is it? 3 over par.
Wow, frustrating. It's one of those golf courses where it can just get away from you.
Yeah, if you're not hitting your approach play well on these massive greens, the wind takes it further away. It's easy to three-putt. Yang, this one reasonably straight, but it looks like it will try and move to the right at the end.
That was important. She just had 3 bogeys in a row. It was 2 under par through 8. That has stopped the bleeding a little bit for the Korean. Her teammate, a fellow Korean, leading the way, Seojun Park, with a round of 64. This for back-to-back birdies. And no problem at all for Wong. I think Pimpis's nickname is Faye. All the Thais have nicknames, I like that. Disappointing miss for the Kiwi there, so Wong off the back of that birdie. This is the par 3 12, the first of these par 3s on the back 9.
Yeah, the longest one on the golf course today, playing at 162 yards. Flag today 14 on, 9 from the left-hand side. That wind direction should be coming from that right-hand side today.
Yeah, so playing back towards the clubhouse.
It looks like it plays downwind, but it's reasonably flat. And what we're saying about hitting your irons well, that there's a slope, it brings it in from right to left, and that slope will end about 7 paces to the right of the pin. So if you happen to push this one too much, you're on the top tier, and then you're negotiating a difficult downhill putt. But if you can manage to hit the draw, catch the downslope, then you could be inside 5 feet quite comfortably by using all the slopes on these greens.
I know people will be joining us all the time, watching Ashirai Sriwong and Mamika Shinchit, who are supposed to be playing with the world number 4 from the Philippines, Rian Malixi, the US amateur champion. Unfortunately, some back issues forcing Rian to withdraw after just 5 holes of this opening round. I suppose even with a 64 today from Seojun Park, that would kind of be the headline news really from day one, that Malixi, the tournament favourite, has had to withdraw.
Just checking that wind direction, coming down from right to left. Just a short iron here to a front left pin. Stay. Oh. There's not a whole lot of rough around these greens, but you can see the swales and how tight the fairways are cut. It just moves everything further away from that front left edge. Maybe didn't quite strike that one. Mamika next to play. Now, if anything, she has tweaked a few to the left-hand side. That's more with her woods. Her irons have been on point. Send this one right of the pin. Oh, she's got that left lead. Oh, he's going to use the slope though. Massive birdie putt here for Chen. Oh, and she's judged it well.
Well, 5 under leading out on the golf course, and this is a chance for Ping Hua Xie to join Jazzy Roberts on that mark, and that's exactly what she's done. So they're a couple behind Seojin Park, who is leading the way at 7 under par. Well, it's a breezy afternoon on the east coast of Vietnam, but it hasn't stopped the golf from being sparkling. This was Mamika Shinch at 9. She'd been in trouble down the left-hand side.
It chipped out from the bunker and had wedge in her hand. And put me down for a par 4 there. It was a good shot.
Yeah, meant she went out in level par, as did Asharai Swiwong, but the birdie train finally arrived at the par 4 10th with a fabulous shot from out of the wasteland sand to there and rolling in the putt.
And then to the Thai player, Ruberong, 1 over par. This into the short par 3, 8th hole. Taking dead aim. That's a nice way to get back to level. Wasn't finished there though. Found the fairway on 9 and the radar was switched on.
And it's been a fabulous front 9 from Jian Lin, the 14-year-old, out in 32. That her final shot of that front 9. 4 birdies, no drop shots from her. They're all trailing Seojin Park, the 17-year-old, ranked outside the top 200 in the world. One of 6 players representing Korea, making her debut in this championship. 64 from her. If you like, she's the lesser known of the Seojin Parks. 64 from her namesake, with a round of 68. So the 17-year-old leading the way by a single shot.
Just wants to stun this into the bank. Maybe the wind from right to left back into her face just held that one up more.
Was a really positive putt. I mean, she is playing beautifully right now, is Lin. Right in front of the clubhouse here at the 12th green. I mean, it is huge, isn't it, this clubhouse? Which is why you can see it from so many places around the golf course. You could get lost in there very easily.
It's as big as the greens, isn't it?
Well, she broke the par run with that drop shot at the last. Chance to get it back here, Mamika Shinch. 7 under leading.
Downhill, left to right, put for a 2.
Man, that is a fabulous bounce back. That was classy from Mamika.
Showing good patience out there. There is a theme here. When we've seen the putts that have dropped, they've got to be hit firmly in order for them to hold their line. So much to contend with the huge slopes, the grain, and then we've got the wind coming off the East Sea here. This one will be slow. You can take this one pretty straight actually. It'll double break, it'll go right to left to start, and then it'll just hold its last 2 or 3 feet, but boy, do you have to hit this one hard. Another fist pump. Maintains the good feelings on this back 9.
Remains bogey free as well with that one from Sri Wong. Over to 14, Yu Chu Chen.
Great shot in, just caught the downslope.
This is at the par 4 15th. Quintanilla playing here with Alice Zhao and Parker Ijaz. 17-year-old Seo Jin Park leading the way on what is her first ever showing. A couple of players out on the course at 5 under par.
Hasn't had a birdie this back nine, so this one will be welcome. Breaking from right to left off the shoulder, and it's quick.
Let's have a look at the par 4 13th.
Downwind par 4 today, playing 384 yards. The line off the tee is at the far side of the waste bunkers where that pine tree sits. It's over 300 yards run out to there. And then the flag is just sat on that right-hand side. There's a spine that runs through this green that we're just highlighting here. So an opportunity to use that, but if you miss it left, then you've got to come over what looks like quite a severe speed bump.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you look at that green, it looks small compared to some of the others, but it's still 44 yards long. That was a nice looking swing from Mamika Shinch, buoyed by that first birdie of the day at 12. You know, Seo Jin Park has set a mean target at 7 under, but these players will have hopefully the easier of the conditions tomorrow morning. It's no doubt that, you know, there are scores to be had. We've got a couple of players out there at 5 under, but there's no doubt if you look at the morning scoring compared to the afternoon scoring, it's playing about a shot or so easier in the morning.
You can see that wind freshening up. It's hitting her back left to right. Carry over the bunker 230, no problem at all. She is a long hitter. As I mentioned, it's called one on because of so often that she's on the par 4s in one as a child, and you do need to hit it long around this golf course in order to set up some good shots into those big greens.
Well, Seo Jin Park managed that today. 6 birdies and an eagle. Just the one drop shot at the end of her round in that superb 64. Janeth Wong is a name to look out for as well. 20-year-old Malaysian who's had a hole-in-one at the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific in the past. The Australian-based Malaysian going along nicely there. Couple under on her front 9. There's some of the players we've been watching this afternoon. Sriwong Tori and Rubrong all handily placed right now. Now 5 under par, the leading score out on the course. 2 players on that mark. Jazzy Roberts has won. Here's the other, who is Schwer.
Got a bit left in that putt. Didn't quite strike it how she would have liked from the back edge. Uphill, left to right, and then it goes downhill at the end for birdie.
Well, I mentioned 2 players at 5 under. Here is the other then.
This is what I'm talking about, how hard you have to hit the putts. You've got to almost beat it down there so the wind doesn't affect it. Nice par there, remains at 5 under.
Yeah, very encouraging for Jazzy Roberts. who's had some good results in some of the professional events, was the low amateur just a few weeks ago at the Vic Open, where she finished in 12th place.
It was windy there.
Yeah, it always is, isn't it?
I mean, they were saying it was some of the hardest conditions that they've ever played in, but that was a links golf course. Bit narrow off the tee down there in Geelong, but just the experience of playing these type of conditions.
Yeah, you would say the Australians are used to playing sand-based golf courses like this one is at Hoi An Shores. Two lovely tee shots down the 13th from what is our two ball of Ashirai Sriwong and Mamika Shinch after the withdrawal of Rhian Malixi.
Wind will be helping down from left to right here. And this has been where she has been excelling with that wedge play. Front right pin, looking at going straight at it. Just half a club shy there.
Well, we've seen some beauties in from Sriwong. She'll be hoping for better here as well than what we've just seen. I mean, it's a green light flag, this one for her, with her wedge game. Also coming up shy, maybe a little heavy.
Yeah, threw it up too high really. I would like to take the trajectory down there, especially because it's into the upslope pitching.
Little tester here for Shear. Just to stay at 5 under. And unfortunately that's a drop shot, and Chia Yu, to give her a proper pronunciation, but she also goes by Jamie, if that helps. 22-year-old in her 4th year at the University of Washington, making her debut in this championship, and a very nice one until that unfortunate drop shot takes her back to -4. Yu Jie-lin, another of the Chinese Taipei players that's going along very nicely indeed. Well, you'd have noticed the flags here at Hoi An Shores. They're ornamental lanterns. And that's because Hoi An, which we're not too far away from, at Hoi An Shores, is known as the City of Lanterns. It's a UNESCO heritage site, and the lanterns have different meaning depending on their colour, and as you can see we have red lanterns here, and apparently they stand for fortune and wealth. And it reminds you a little bit of Merion, maybe, what you see there with their baskets as opposed to lanterns, aren't they, at Merion?
Yeah, also down in Sea Island in Georgia, but red is so significant for Asian look, isn't it? Remember Tiger Woods always wore red in the final round, and Gino Titican has been known to do that when she was in Thailand a couple of years ago. A couple of weeks ago, sorry, she also wore red. Looking to get in the red. Nice birdie put on 13, working its way from left to right. She's grinded so well today. Let's see if she can get a bonus birdie on 13.
Yeah, we are in a region of great heritage. I mentioned that Hoi An is an ancient town that's a World Heritage Site. There's another one, World Heritage Site not far from here as well, the Mai Son Sanctuary. Not sure the players have had too much time to suck in that much of the culture There's the business of trying to win this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific.
Oh, I did see one feature when they were in boats.
We're going to see that,
Oh,
Sophie. That's a
no,
nice little
thank
tease.
you.
Nice little tease. We'll have a look at that a bit later. Wong for her birdie.
From left to right. She does look good on this back nine. There's a lot more positivity to her putting stroke. It's just amazing what a birdie can do, isn't it?
Yeah, she'd have been a little disappointed with the approach in there, but we've seen some fabulous shots in over the last half an hour from Pipisa Rubron. No birdie there, though, from another of the ties. Provided two of the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific champions. And in every edition of this championship, we've had a tie player in the top three. Here is the one from last year, Aishwarya Sriwong.
She has that experience of being up there, of knowing what it's like to be in contention. Big par putt here. Oh, 3-putt from nowhere. Just when I said she looked like she was getting in her stride, that's just halted up. Nothing worse when you have that 3-putt from nowhere and the conditions are so hard out there and you go and just have a slip of concentration.
Well, this is for another birdie for Jian Lin. Oh, just needed hitting. Remember, I don't know if you remember the story from last year. She was the one that had Tiffany Huang's yardage book. Tiffany had won at Siam Country Club in 2022, and she gave Jian the yardage book that she'd won there 16 months earlier, had all the notes in it. Unfortunately, it didn't help her there. She missed the cut. So this year, Tiffany hasn't been at this course. Jian's going along very nicely, so maybe there's a lesson there. 281st in the women's amateur golf rankings. Seo Jin Park, though, with a superb round of 64. Some players out on the course going nicely. Jazzy Roberts at 5 under. Shear and the aforementioned Jian Lin there at -4. Mengan Lee, who have not had a Chinese winner. Look at Yijia Ren and Ying Shu, also a couple under par. Yijia Ren's a player that's won already on the China LPGA Tour, even at the age of 14.
Gorgeous little par 3, this one. 100 yards down the slope, as is this putt here for Yang, looking to get to level par. It's quick.
Yeah, there are some age gaps on the in the field this week. We've got a 12-year-old in the field, Bao Chao Nguyen of Vietnam. She's 12. The oldest player is Nadine Goal, who is 56 years age. Nadine, 77 from Bao Chao today, 75 from Nadine. Birdie there for Zara Anand. As we look at 14.
I do like a short par 3. This green width is, well, gigantic. It's an Olympic swimming pool from left to right. Just cut on a spine there. It does come back to the hole. If you can go deep, you can spin it back down. But if you miss it high right, then you leave yourself with a very quick putt. We can see the lightness of the grass around that pin. That's your landing zone. If you hit it in the dark patch to the right, it will move further and further away from the hole. And the wind will be from the left-hand side here, which does make it hard to get into a left pin. You're hitting against some wind.
Yeah, the first couple of rounds, they got this right-hand side teeing area, the flag over on the left. At the weekend, they're going to reverse that. It's going to be the tee over on the left-hand side, and the flag will be over on the right. There is our lantern.
It's not a flag, Richard. The lantern will be on the left or the right-hand side.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I've actually played.
That's why we should call it pin position as opposed to.
Yeah. Playing down at Sea Island, I remember hitting one of them. It's not the best results. Look at this, teeing it back. So she's obviously taking a little bit more club. The flag's only 8 yards on.
Flag, you said it.
Sorry. Starting it between the bunker and the pin on the left-hand side.
Very good.
Just a wedge.
Very nice.
Now, when you've just had a 3-putt, you're running hot, you want to get the driver out and smash it down these wide fairways. You don't particularly want to tickle in a wedge and have some control over it. So she's going to have to settle herself down. Some deep breaths. Level par still good out there. And try and get this wedge inside 15 feet, set up a birdie opportunity. Oh, lucky that it didn't fall down that slope. Quick putt to come. Last 3 holes, there are some birdie opportunities to be had. Oh, just needed to hit it there. Grace Pauline knew it. Turned round as if to say, why didn't I?
Not to be. Well, a number of the players in the field this week have participated in the launch of the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific Academy, which launched by the RNA and the Asia Pacific Golf Confederation. Tori here makes her birdie, gets to a couple under par. Well, digging deep is Parker Ijaz after a difficult start, but settled into things nicely now as the player from Pakistan. You can see a much more settled back nine. A little choppy on the EC. Smooth sailing really into the bogey at the final hole from Sejong Park. Round of 64 from the Korean, making her debut in this championship. Bunch of 65s, some Aussie players going well out there. Leon Higo, kind of want to call her line, don't you? She roared today, 65, 6 under par on this par 71. There's the other Sejong Park, I suppose the slightly better known player who's played in these Women's Amateur Asia Pacifics before, 68 from her. Sumino, you saw there, world ranked number 9, now the highest ranked player in the field that we've seen the withdrawal of Rian Malixi.
Wong has got this slider from right to left, a 16-year-old from Thailand, for a bounce back birdie.
Not quite to be. Just to, well, I touched on Malixi there. She has made a statement, and as we see Wong tap this in, she said, "I'm incredibly disappointed to have to retire from the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. It's a championship I look forward to all year." It was her 5th showing. She says, "I've got a back strain. I tried to compete, but unfortunately couldn't continue. I wish all the girls the best of luck this week." Disappointing for Rian, isn't it? You know, it was her 5th showing. She hadn't won this. I know she won the US Women's Amateur, a couple of big events last year, but this was one she certainly wanted to put on her CV.
It is. I mean, she'd made statements about, we're in Asia, this is my home continent, I want to do well. She was the poster girl of this event. She came tied 5th last year, and unfortunately, after shooting 63 last year, she got taken ill with a fever, so she may be thinking this is an unlucky event for her, but we wish her well for a speedy recovery. It's a big year for her, and hopefully we'll see her next year in New Zealand.
Chance for another birdie then. Nice tee shot from Mamika Shinch. Not to be for the Japanese.
Second shot for Rubrong. Into 11, hit the slope.
Come on down. You know, she finished 41st at the Honda LPGA Thailand. I don't know if you know about the LPGA pathway, but you get a point, for example, if you win the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific this week. 20 points get you your LPGA Tour card. You need to finish top 40 in an LPGA Tour event. She missed a putt on the last that's denied her a point. She finished in a share of 41st. So Pimpissa just missing out there, but she's got a chance to get one of those points this week. Lottie Woe, the world #1, actually isn't too far away from getting the points needed. I think she's on 16 points in total. Oh, what a putt from Tway. No wonder she's celebrating like that. Sensational. Pick it out of the hole, Jinghan. Moves you under par as well. I mean, you're lucky if you have one of these a month, never mind a round.
At a 90-degree angle. Look at this dip in. Her eyes start lighting up. It's got a chance. It's in. Yes, deserves that celebration. That is a 1 in 100 putt.
Well, wonderful moment for the 14-year-old making her debut in this championship. She's got a twin brother as well, Jingguo, who also plays a really high level in the China national teams. And in their duels, she would have got a bit of a bonus for that. I don't know if you saw about her and her brother and the battles they have. Apparently, they get rewards and punishments in their competitions against one another. The punishments include having to do push-ups. But if you make a putt like that, you might get a nice reward.
Right, let's have a look at the 15th hole. You'll need some push-ups to get over that bunker that sits annoyingly in the middle of the fairway here, but thankfully the players, this wind is down from left to right, so they should be able to sail over that at 210 yards. Short par 4, 347.
Yeah, so chance to open up your shoulders here for Mamika Shinch, driver in hand. Currently 32nd in the world. Has been as high as 13th. Won the Australian Amateur last year.
Mashari will feel like this event, she's on a run of form. She finished with a round of 66 last year. A long hitter. Nice wide stance there, winds it up in the backswing and then just lets it go. Tweaked it a little bit down the left-hand side, but the wind should knock it back.
It's a breezy afternoon on the east coast of Vietnam. Well, the Australians going well. We've got Leon Higo at 6 under par, Jazzy Roberts at 5 under par. Unfortunately, Sarah Hammett not joining in on the Aussie fun right now, 3 over. But this could be tasty. Using the contours to perfection there. Talking of the Aussie contingent going well, this to get within one of the lead for Jazzy Roberts, par 5 7th. Best Jazzy golfer I know is Jane Watanabe from Thailand, but there's another Jazzy golfer around.
Here's the New Zealander Lou, second shot into 15, pin on the left, good angle, and has also chosen to use that side slope. Oh, another roll.
Worth seeing again. Yeah, the one from Hammock was good. This one was even better. So hopefully that'll take her back to 3 over par. Sakura Tori, who's a couple under.
It's one of those where you think, oh, I've not hit this. It's going to stay at the top of the slope, but gravity says absolutely not. It's got a lengthy par putt to come.
Top-ranked player from Vietnam, Viet Jahan Nguyen, and they'll be happy to see that one go in from the 14-year-old. Takes it to 1 over par. This is down the 15th hole. You can see our 2-ball. Bit of a distance between their drives here, Sophie.
Ashari's called 1 on. In fact, I think we just call her that for the 15th hole because of how long this tee shot was. She did tweak it down the left-hand side and caught a fast track. Whereas Mamika, she just took this up the right-hand side. And the angle's good because the pin is on that left. She's got 85 yards to the front edge of this green. Pin is on 16, so it's a 100-yard shot. It's a similar type of length shot that she had into the 9th hole. And she nearly holed that one. That wind into from left to right. Unfortunately missed the slope there. It all gathers in, but if you do miss that spot, then you're going to have it all gathering in for your putt.
Well, off that booming drive, opportunity for Sri Wong here.
Yeah, a drive of nearly 300 yards. Just pitching this one in.
Good look coming up then for birdie in this first round of an event that really has been a launch pad for the next generation of international golf stars. Sakura Tori mopping up very nicely for her par 3 there to remain a couple under. Plenty of holes to come, and there are some opportunities to come. Yu Chu Chen just going through a little tough spell. Bogeys at 13 and 15, gone to a couple over. But there's the tough spell over with. Beautiful birdie.
She's got the 18th hole to come, which is playing the easiest hole on the golf course, that par 5, so a chance to get another one to add to her great score for today.
Yeah, have been a lot of good scores out there. You can see a bunch of 65s. Only betted by one player, Seo Jin Park. Jazzy Roberts leading the way this amongst the afternoon contingent. Krichinaya Kawapatanasakun at 3 under par. Thailand has got a great history in these events. And Krichinaya going along nicely. There's Sakura Tori we just saw at the 12th. And the the Samoan. Faith Bui going up nicely, a couple under par as well. Inez Ung there, 2 under par, 69 player, playing in her 5th Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. Bear in mind, this is only the 7th edition, a championship that dates back to 2018. Hayley Lowe, another of the 5 brigade. Now here's a putt for Mamika Shinch, one you take 2 putts and run.
Down the staircase here at halfway, it just flies.
Yeah, there's no way of leaving that short of the hole, is there?
No, the issue is really with the approach shot in. She only had 100 yards there, but at least this second putt is below the hole, so she'll have an uphill par putt to come.
So difficult to judge these putts. She knows it swings from right to left. It all depends how hard you want to hit it. Sri Wong trying to get back under par. Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I think from a player's point of view, you can't believe that that second shot hasn't released down the slope, can you? It's like, how have I left that up there, knowing you can't leave a putt up there, but you can leave an approach.
Well, Vivian Liu, we saw her knock it in to a couple of inches at 15. She's judged the slope well here at 16 as well.
You can see the players with the local caddies, can't you, out there? They're obviously getting a few tips from them of where to hit it in order to use the slopes. Important putt here to hold position at level par. Well done.
It's a long week, isn't it? I know we have had players lead from the front and go on and win, but 4 rounds, had a couple of runaway winners. Anna Galitsky won by 5 back in 2023, and Yuka Yasuda on home soil won by a record 8 shots. We've had a 64 this morning, and these players this afternoon trying to battle and get themselves as close as possible to Seojin Park.
Mamiki Shinch into the 9th hole there, just showing her class with her approach play. And the 9th was lucky for many players. Rubarong from Thailand had just made birdie on 8, and she had her eye in there. A tap-in birdie on 9 to get herself to under par for the tournament. And then Sarah Hammett, 3 over par for the day. His pin tucked on the left-hand side. Some local knowledge, maybe. Taps that one in, gets herself back to 2 over.
And we just saw Vivian Liu hit a nice shot into 16. That came after this beauty at 15. Off the slope to the left-hand side. And very nearly in for an eagle too. Much needed as well from the New Zealander. And this is the 16th hole she is playing right now.
It's a dog leg from left to right. The wind is from the right-hand side, from that east sea there. So the option is what we're taking off the tee. If you go with driver, then you're bringing in that waste bunker on that right-hand side. But the wind will push it away from it, so it is worth taking on. It's only a short par 4 at 343 yards. And another funnel pin, so if you can get those wedges in, you can really use that. See the line here is at the edge of the high-rise hotels in the distance, and then you just want to keep it down the left-hand side
It's one of the signature holes, isn't it? The Eastern Sea to your right. And 16 and 17, very picturesque. It is a breezy afternoon. Wind speeds of about 25 kilometers per hour. It was certainly a little stiller than that this morning when Seojin Park was shooting that 64.
No surprise really that Wong is hitting a 3-wood, because as I mentioned, at 250 it nips in. 300 down the left hand side is the run out.
Well, that disappeared. Back to the 20-year-old Australian. Her penultimate hole of what's been an excellent round so far, Jazzy Roberts. Not a bit of a wide there, though. This is her third appearance in this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. Missed the cut last year.
Just send this one out the right-hand side. She's interested. Oh, look at that go.
Got one of those who's got a dad on the bag. To her compatriot who was at 5 under par at one point. Sheer found the bunker off the tee, and it's going to be a bogey at best. Just slipping back a little bit, Sheer.
Wong is committed to Arizona State University. She's going to be a Sun Devil.
Been a few good players at Arizona State, haven't there?
Sure has. John Rahm for the men, and then for the women we've got the new European Solheim Cup captain in Anna Nordqvist.
Pingwa Sheer then struggling at this 8th. Oh, it's gone from bad to worse. It just shows you, doesn't it? You know, she was going along so nicely, and suddenly the round can get away from you. Well, look at what's on offer. 3 of the year's majors, the AIG Women's Open is at Royal Porthcawl in Wales, off to the shores of Lake Geneva and Texas for the Amundi Evian Championship and the Chevron. And if that wasn't enough, look what else is on offer. Some of the players in the field this week are already in Anwa, the Augusta National Women's Amateur, but they make sure they tee it up at Nairn in Scotland, another golf course by the sea.
Yeah, the Northeast Sea, not the East Sea of Vietnam. And then we go to the Hana Financial Group Championships and the ISPS Handa Women's Australian Open. So you have a year of the best golf courses playing against the best players in the world. If you win this week, it starts in April in Augusta and it will finish in Australia. You'll become a world player, a renowned player. This is one that you want on your career.
But this is one place you don't want to be. Down the 16th, said the ball had disappeared for Sri Wong. Not too bad a lie, but she's going to have to be standing a little bit above the ball here, Sophie. It's going to be a tricky stance for her.
And it's hard to keep your foot in because this sand it's so loose underneath your feet. So you've got to keep those legs quiet on the way down.
Sand in the face as well, just to compound things.
This is where you're thinking, why did I just not hit driver now? That's the strength of a game.
Over at the par 3 17th, another very picturesque hole. Yun Seo Yang.
126 yards, but that wind is hurting off that right-hand side and back into the players' faces, leaving herself an uphill birdie putt try.
And one of the many players in this field that are ranked inside the top 100 of the world. 18 in the field this week. from one par 3 to another.
Emma Zheng. Nice.
You can see from the eastern sea, you can see Cham Islands, and I think Hainan Islands is in the distance beyond as well, where they're playing the LPGA Tour event this week. There's no doubt the breeze has certainly picked up when you get to this part of the golf course as well, which is a little more exposed, a little closer to the sea.
Well, this one playing 108 yards, but you can add another 15 to that. Just wants to 3/4 this one, take the flight down. Come on, don't go in there.
Well, it's an awkward spot, be very quick from there for Mamika Shinch. To the par 3 17th, Sarah Hammett now. Yeah, nicely done from the Australian there. Really is life-changing opportunities. Sakura Tori on this par 3 14th, just a lovely little short par 3, just over 100 yards on the money today with that flat front pin.
Maybe in between clubs, thought I better not be short of that pin. It does run off.
Third shot now in for Sri Wong.
Driving that one into the wind. It's got a chance. Downhill right to left par putt to come.
Well, there is the state of affairs. Lots of good scores. Most of them have come from the players that were out there this morning. No one better than Seojin Park. That's 64 from player making her Women's Amateur Asia Pacific debut. Got to shoot in the 60s to be inside the top 20. Well, I hope you're enjoying this opening round. Well, there's a picturesque setting if ever there was one. Day one of this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific, coming for the very first time from Vietnam. We're just south of Hoi An at Hoi An Shores. And Mamika Shinch here is eyeing up a birdie putt, which looks like you can just breathe on it.
I wonder where she's going to aim this, because I think it's towards the sprinkler head. She's within a couple of club lengths. Oh, it's actually outside of that. That just shows how much left to right is on this break. She is aiming down the fringe here. Needs some imagination. And the wind's putting her off, coming from the East Sea there, and it's just beating against her chest. It's another thing to think about here. Is it high enough?
No.
No.
You don't think you can aim that far left and be that far right by the end of things, and maybe a little unfortunate to stay up there. You can see why she was aiming for that left side. We saw from Vivian Liu, it can put you in a nice position. Final hole of the day for Jazzy Roberts. The leader bogeyed this hole early this morning to finish at 7 under par. Roberts has played a absolute beauty in there to give herself a chance of finishing with a birdie. Her compatriot is at her penultimate hole of the day, Hammond.
It rose to fame at 15 years old, shooting 60 at the Catherine Kirk event down in Australia. So it just shows what Sarah could potentially do tomorrow morning.
.63 is the lowest score we've seen before the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. Thought Seo Jin Park might threaten that when she was needing a par at the last for a 63 and a birdie to break it with a 62, but dropped a shot. Well, she's had one putt. I don't think she's any closer to the hole.
This one's easier. This one uphill from right to left. 2 cups. Well, these greens are big. If you miss them, you have got some outrageous putts to come. This is a good leave here on the par 3 17th. Come back. Oh, just a slight misread. I'm into the Korean uniform. I like it.
Well, kind of expectations given what, you know, where Korean women's golf stands in the world stage, that we should see our first Korean winner. Seo Jin Park has certainly set out her stall with that 64. Sri Wong pitting in trouble off the tee, pays the price. It's a bogey. Remember, these playing's a 2-ball. No Rian Malixi, the world number 4, withdrawing after just 5 holes with a back strain. Bogeys apiece, so both Sri Wong and Shinch slip back to 1 over par. Well, it's not all been about the golf this week, and certainly for these guys down the beach, maybe they're focused not on the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific, but the top-ranked players traded fairways for coconut boats in the Hoi An's River Forest, the perfect backdrop for this year's photo call. Nestled in the historic town of Hoi An, this unique event takes you on a serene journey through the picturesque waterways, flanked by enchanting coconut groves. Now, I'm not sure me or you would fancy doing that, Sophie, really.
Well, look, they look like they're having a good time spinning around, but yeah, I'm not very good on the waltzes or the pirate ships. But when you're young, Richard, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, that's coconut forest, 7-hectare coconut forest, about 3 kilometres south of Hoi An's old town. And here we are at the picturesque par 3 17th.
Yeah, you can have the 16th hole as your signature, but I'm going to take this one. 126 yards today. Flag is 18 on, 8 from the right-hand side, and you setting the ball up straight towards the water, into the wind from right to left, so it's a tough one to negotiate there. Could be as much as a 7-iron with this wind. Now, if anything, she's tweaked the ball to the left-hand side with tee shots and approach shots today. So just needs to keep that body moving, stop the hands taking over. Really nice, controlled approach there to the 17th. Caddy likes it. Good club. You're tired now. You've been out there in the 2-ball. This was the Malixi group where Rianne pulled out. The wind has gusted through your ears all afternoon, and it's just fighting for this last half an hour just to finish off this round. Punching one in here, 8-iron.
Needs to come down. It's trying. Keep coming. It's not going to be an easy putt. Been a difficult finish to the round for Shear. Just gone 5-5-5, double bogey at the last. But there's a lovely way to finish things off. Birdie number 6 of the day, a round of 68 for Pinghua Shear, and she's well placed at 3 under.
Not in any footprints. The lie looks good. It sounded like a nice strike as well.
Looking to match that 3 for Shear. Jazzy Roberts. That was to get within 1 of the lead. But you won't see too many bogey-free rounds this week, and that is an excellent start from the Australian.
It just shows when you're playing alongside someone that's also playing well, you pull each other through on a difficult afternoon here in Vietnam. Anand, third into 18, par 5. Oh, that caught a downslope. And another one. So much precision that's needed with your landing spot, and then thinking about how the ball's going to roll once it's on a green. It has that link style to this golf course, which is what the course creator and designer Robert Trent Jones Jr. wanted.
Jazzy Roberts makes it 2 rounds of 66, matching the effort earlier today from Ira Nagasawa. 2 behind Seo Jin Park. Gian Lin still got a few holes to play. Maybe can get a lot closer to the top yet as well at 4 under par. Su Min Oh, certainly a name to look out for. The world number 9. With a round of 68. th green. It's a little steamy.
Easiest hole on the golf course, the 18th. Chen just not converting that birdie. He's got the look of Nairn right now out there, where the Women's Amateur Championship will be played this summer. This is Nairn on a summer's day, I think.
No, I don't want to upset anyone at Nairn.
Oh, great golf course. The redesign of it as well is just wonderful.
Yeah, I was back there a few years ago when they had the Curtis Cup.
Yeah. Looking at taking this one outside right.
to be. Tori now with another tricky putt. I mean, the greens here are just so undulating, so big. You can be left with so many putts like this, and it's not a bad putt, but going to be an awkward one left for par.
Just trying to hang in there right now, 1 over par. Might even see a fist pump at the end of that. 1 hole left to play, the 18th par 5. With her length, she can take advantage of it, but back 9 was playing the easier side, not this afternoon.
This is over at 18 with Viet Jar Han Nguyen. And that is a super way to finish for the player from Vietnam, who was one of those who, at the end of last year, joined up with everyone at the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific Academy.
Welcome to the cutting edge of women's golf development. The R&A Women's Amateur Asia Pacific Development Academy is a high-performance camp designed to unlock the full potential of 14 elite players. From across Asia's developing golfing nations, they've come to Thailand to train with the best.
This is certainly an advantage for us just because we have learned so much from this academy, and with those lessons we can grow a lot as a person and as a player.
I feel very grateful actually that I get to meet so many girls, and the coaches have taught me so much throughout this week.
Supported by Samsung, this initiative provides a unique opportunity to learn from world-class coaches and specialists in sports science, psychology and nutrition. The goal? To prepare them for the challenges ahead, including the 2025 Women's Amateur Asia Pacific Championship.
We obviously have many countries that have, highly developed programs, but bringing some of the coaching information, the technology, the resources that the R&A have been able to put together is really going to help certainly our next level of countries really get to the highest level.
I really like how these 13 girls this week who flew from different corners of the world, the younger ones look up to the more senior, more talented players, and it could be vice versa, so I think they really learn from each other.
Yeah, fabulous initiative. And here's another of the players that joined everyone at Siam Country Club in Thailand, and she also finishes in some style there. Nice birdie finish for Zara Anand.
I think what's great about these academies is, look, they're not trying to change the golf swings. They know that they've got their coach. What they're doing is statistics, fitness, nutrition. It's about taking what you've got, which is also very special, and just moulding it into that elite level, how to be that 1% better every day, and also be surrounded by players with like-minded abilities and mindset. It's a great initiative. Par 5, 18th hole, back up towards the clubhouse. Easiest hole on the golf course today. It'll be downwind from right to left. Important to avoid those waste bunkers left and right. 537 yards. Well, the longer hitters have a decision to make. Do you go down the left-hand side or the right-hand side of that fairway that splits? The great angle is down the left if you dare go for that portion there. I think Shinchi will play it as a 3-shotter and keep it safely down the fairway. Driver. It's that left one again, and I think that might be in the yellow stuff. So hard to manage your swing in these windy conditions. It's just something that can just blow your rhythm off course, and it looks like that's been the case today. She's done well considering that she is fighting that left shot.
And also the fact that she hasn't been well this week as well. If you weren't with us earlier, mentioning how Mamika Shinch had food poisoning on arrival. Ended up on a drip in the hospital on Tuesday. This also going a little awry for Asharai Sri Wong. And she is a little bit lucky. That is a huge break, makes such a difference. Well, it doesn't look like anyone's going to catch Seojin Park at the top of the leaderboard. Amongst the afternoon starters, Jazzy Roberts has come closest on a day of some very good scoring. Bogey at 14 for Jian Lin, so she's back in the group at 3 under par. Tomorrow, the players that we're watching this afternoon will go out this morning, so the likes of Seojin Park will be out amongst the afternoon starters, the championship leader. Tricky par putt left for Tori here.
Will not be the first. Just can't make yourself hit that left enough.
Interesting choice of club from Sarah Hammett. As much fairway as green to go through here.
Windy conditions here in Vietnam. The afternoon gusts have got up to nearly a 2-3 club wind coming from that coast.
Well, if you look at the scoring average, this morning it was just over 72. This afternoon it's nearly 74. There's a shot and a half difference between the morning and afternoon wave. And I suppose the players out this afternoon will be hoping they get the slightly better conditions tomorrow morning, and then it evens itself out.
Two huge hits into 18th, 537 yards. That eagle putt coming up shy. And I always thought it's better when it was windy conditions at links golf to be the morning wave and go out and shoot a low one, and then in the next day in the afternoon you're well rested to try and fight the elements. If you go out in the afternoon on that Thursday, you're going to be tired in the morning trying to tee up and fight back, because the chances are that the scoring will be higher in those windy conditions.
Vivian Liu trying to finish off with a birdie here.
She'll now know that it just doesn't want to come back from right to left in the end. It actually goes the other way. At a line, hit it.
Oh, so unlucky. She's been in terrific form playing at the University of Washington. Currently the #1 player on their team's had 3 top 5 finishes. So came here with some high hopes. A little bit off the pace with that round of 74. Just got off that tricky start, bogey, got it back, but too many drop shots on there for Vivian. Mamika Shinch trying to work things out in the group that's waiting.
Birdie putt for Hammett. She's misread it.
Another one who's had a disappointing day. 73 from her. Just a 1 birdie on the card as well for Sarah. And she'll look at the leaderboard, see some of her compatriots right up there. It's a little choppy out on the eastern sea.
Second shot for Zheng into the 16th or 4 over par. And that's just what she required. Just need to keep plugging away, see if you can pick 1, 2 shots up. 2 over, like you were saying, Rich, doesn't really seem like that bad a score this afternoon.
Well, opportunity for Yang to finish with a birdie, and exactly what she does. So going the best of that trio, UNC Yang, a round of 71 from the 17-year-old Korean, which leaves her 7 shots behind her compatriot Seojin Park, setting that red-hot pace. It could have been better. She dropped a shot at her final hole, the 17-year-old on her women's amateur Asia Pacific debut. Got lucky with the tee shot, really.
The difference between hitting the fairway and not. Shinchi's had to lay up short of the gigantic bunker that starts at 120 yards and runs from there all the way to the front edge. Whereas Wong has got the hybrid out and is going the direct route, taking it down this left-hand side. It's got just over 200 yards to the front edge. Is it enough? Oh, it is, you know. What an outrageous shot to finish. Setting up an eagle try.
Well, you never know, come Sunday afternoon, that might be a big turning point for Asharai Sriwong. We know what she's capable of. She closed with a 66 on home soil in Thailand last year for her 3rd place finish. This was a touch of class.
Just sent the high draw towards that pin, but then it hit the upslope and it just took the sting out of it. It's a downwind second shot. So it came in less like a wood and it actually landed more like a pitching wedge.
Going along nicely. Her compatriot, Tempissa Rubrong. Although that wasn't what she was looking for.
Just got that wedge stuck in the upslope. Bermuda grass around here.
Back at 17. Sorry, it's 16, I should say. Jinghan Tui. One of those that played on the LPGA Tour event, was in China at the end of last year, the Buick LPGA.
Downhill, right to left. At least a foot from right to left.
Well, she's holed one outrageous putt today. I thought we were going to see another one there.
Got a lovely demeanour, hasn't she? We've seen how hard it is out there. A lot of players kind of head down and she's trying to smile her way through it. This follow through is like a yak of food aways. Love that. They're just the poise at the end. So has had to lay up short of the waist bunker, has got 135 yards to the front edge. Just over 150 flag, started at the TV tower. It's not where it starts, it's where it finishes.
Really awkward putt, this one. Jian Lin. Well, it's good for pace.
Left to right birdie putt.
Well, after the poor chip, Rubron with her work cut out to avoid a first drop shot since the first. And that is going to be a bogey from nowhere, really. That's disappointing. Back to 1 under. This is Tori.
Forces that one home.
So back to 2 under par for the well-covered Japanese player. Can't be easy with the, you know, over your mouth and your nose. But maybe there's some sunlight reasons for her doing that.
Also, imagine it's quite almost sandstormy out there as well, isn't it? With all those waste bunkers that, well, I was going to say flank the fairways, but this one on 18 is straight down the middle of them. It's a great kind of second shot in here. It comes into a Y shape, and you have to take it down the left-hand side to this left pin, and then down the right to the right pin. And actually, if you hit it straight, that's not the place to be. You'll find yourself in some sand.
Well, it's been an interesting day, hasn't it, for these two? They started off with a 3-ball with the tournament favourite, Ryan Malixi. They didn't manage a birdie between them over the front 9. It's been a little up and down for them over this back 9. Both came to this 18th hole 1 over par, but both have an opportunity to finish the day on a high.
Ashriya Srirong has hit driver hybrid to here. Just settling over this edging from right to left. Eagle putt to get herself under par for the day.
Oh, good effort. Good try. It will be a birdie. Just her second of the day. And it's good enough for a 71. Work to do in terms of getting in amongst the leaders, but certainly not played herself out of it on day 1.
I felt like she created a lot of birdie opportunities. One of those bogeys was a 3-putt from 25 feet. So tomorrow, when the greens will be easier because the wind won't be affecting them as much and she'll be more used to them, I expect to see something low from the Thai player on Friday morning.
Yeah, these are two players ranked in the top 40 of the world rankings. Both have a good experience. Srirong 3rd last year. Mamika Shinch has had a couple of top 10s in her previous 2 Women's Amateur Asia Pacific starts. And this is to match Srirong with a 2nd birdie of the day here at 18.
Played it differently, left off the tee, had to lay up from 150 yards, have stuck it in tight. This one, left edge putt. Oh, fooled up.
So 72 on this par 71 for the 17-year-old from Japan, Mamika Shinch. Which is fully 8 shots behind the leader. And we wish Ryan Malixi well. Just to remind you, only a 2-ball here with Malixi withdrawing after just 5 holes of this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific on Hainan Shores in Vietnam. Seojin Park, the 17-year-old from Korea, leading the way. Leon Higo, Ariana Lau, Hong Soo-min and Anna Iwanaga, always 65, seeing a 66 this afternoon from Jazzy Roberts. Pimada, Wong Tanavimok, 4 under par. Still got 4 holes left to play. The Thai player yet to drop a shot. So still 1 or 2 players out on the course who are going along very nicely indeed.
Four over par, having missed a chance on the 16th hole. Short par 3. That'll come down. She'll have another look. Just got to find one. You've got to get some confidence on these greens.
Well, there was forecast this afternoon for some rain coming in around 3 o'clock. Obviously, we're way past that point now, and we've been very fortunate that it has stayed dry. The forecast for the rest of the week is pretty good.
Looks like the Rock of Elsa, doesn't it, at Turnberry?
Yeah, there are some lovely distinctive points about Hoi Anna Shores. The huge clubhouse there that you can see in the distance, the lantern pins that are on every hole. We are very close to the city of lanterns, Hoi Anna, on the east coast of Vietnam. And here are the previous winners of this event. Gino, as she's known now, Ataya Titikun, when she lifted the trophy, and back in 2018 and in the inaugural championship in Singapore. Yuka Yasuda won by 8 shots at Royal Golf Club in Japan. Mizuka Hashimoto shot 4 rounds of 68 when she was victorious. And Tiffany Huang, Ella Galitsky and Chan Wei-U, the other winners in the last few years. Who's going to join them this time around?
I'm going to call it, I think we're going to have a different country winner.
So you
So
think,
you
so
said
you
we've
think
not
maybe
had-
an Australian or Korean, maybe?
Yes.
We do have a Korean leading the way, and here is an Australian. And that's a super shot from Skaysbrook. '17th with Sakura Tori.
Off the back of a birdie on the 16th hole. This one up and over, down the hill from left to right. Now you've got to be so careful with that one, not letting it run away from her.
Just by the beach here at 16. Yeah, you don't have to go to the beach though to see the sand around Hoi Anna Shores.
No, I think it's going to be one of those golf courses when you kick your shoes off at the end, you'll be pouring the sand out. Now, Rubrong's opted to lay up short of the bunkers that we've seen many players take on down this left-hand side. So instead of flicking a lob wedge in or something, she's now got 9-iron. Wants to hold this one up into quite a stiff into from right to left wind.
Similar shot, similar result to Skaysbrook there. Yeah, nicely done, Emma Zeng. Rolls one in. Happy about that. Yeah, steady the ship on this back nine. First birdie since the first for Emma there.
Good swing. Oh, club short. That was on the right line. That would have fed down into the flag.
The way to try and tidy up here at 17. And that's exactly what she does. Well, this is the 7th edition of the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. First time that Vietnam has hosted these championships. And it's Seojin Park with a round of 64. who has set the pace. Still one or two players left out on the course. Pimada Wong is going best of them at 4 under par. The 20-year-old known as Nina, who's at the University of Arizona, going along very nicely. But most of these players you can see going through the leaderboard, done for the day. It's been a good test, hasn't it, Hawaiian Shores? There are lots of birdies to be had out there, but with the wind stiffening, some tricky moments for one or two out of the wasteland sand, and plenty of 3 putts as well on these big undulating greens.
It's interesting to look at the last 3 holes. When we came to air, all of them were playing under par. You know, you're looking at a 17th hole. It's a flick. It's 126 yards when there's no wind, and then suddenly we're here in the late afternoon and the wind picks up, and there's at least a 2-club breeze wind out there. I wouldn't say breeze, and they just get harder because of the fact that you're now got to hit a 7-iron in instead of sometimes a pitching wedge. Swinging left to right, birdie pot. And with wind conditions, it's harder to hit it close up.
Yeah, some of these players have come here over the last few weeks. I know the players from Vietnam and 1 or 2 are going, well, came here last week, but conditions were actually very different. It was very calm. The weather was less windy. And the players are really feeling the test, but the scoring's been good. I mean, you know, we've seen around a 5 under out there this afternoon.
Now, Rubarong, I met her a couple of weeks ago in Thailand. She's taught by former Ladies European Tour player Nataya Srisawang, who I think she came second. I don't think she ever quite got a win, and really happy-go-lucky player. And as a coach, she's now working with the Thai Federation, and straight up to me, she's some player. She like keep an eye on her type thing, and the fact that she is under par and they're so excited about what she is capable of. Chance to get to 2 here. 2 cups from right to left.
Well, there's another good example about what you are talking about. She's walking okay, isn't she? A little bit gingerly, because she had an unfortunate incident at the hotel earlier this week where she twisted her ankle after stumbling on a staircase. It led to some swelling. She still played the practice round yesterday. Naturally, we can see her playing here today as well and going along all right.
She'll be thankful that, you know, this isn't a hilly golf course then, is it?
Yeah, that was Kaya Delawata from Sri Lanka, who missed the cut last year. No birdie for the teenager Ella Skaysbrook there, who's had an excellent start to the year. Won the Avondale Bowl back in January. Olivia Hung wants to get to 2 under. She has actually just dropped a couple of shots in the last 3 holes. The player from Chinese Taipei was going along nicely at 3 under.
Start this higher than you think. I wish you could run over and tell every player that. We've watched it for the past 3 hours and nobody can make themselves start it that 2 cups from left to right. I mean, it's 6 feet.
Tidying up was Jian Lin there. Adding 32, no birdies on the back 9 for Jian. And it's hard not to race ahead. Think of the opportunities this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific can bring you. Your 2025 will change completely should you go ahead and win this Championship.
Just to go 3 back. That's an incredible round of golf this afternoon.
Player in her 3rd year at Pepperdine. Gets herself to 4 under par. She knows what it's like to play on sandbelt courses. She's won the club championship at Metropolitan Golf Club in Australia 5 years in a row. So they know all about her.
Yeah, down in Melbourne, there's a great run, isn't there? Commonwealth, Kingston Heath, Royal Melbourne, and it's got that same type of feel. Metro's a lot tighter than around here, but the same type of layout.
Well, she's getting a little closer to those leaders. Day 1 of this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific.
I'm going to get told off for not mentioning Victoria by Stacey Peters, who is part of the Australian golf. She looks after all the amateurs down there, so apologies.
Carl Patanaskul is at 3 under par. Well, she'll do well to stay at 3 under, given where that tee shot has finished here at 8. She's bogey free today as well, Krishanya, but she'll do well to stay that way. To the penultimate par 3 for Rubrong, or should say the penultimate hole on her round for Rubrong.
9 iron. All over it. Hasn't she played well this back 9? She had an early bogey on the front 9 and has just really progressed into this round with that quality ball striking.
Well, let's see if this one could be a little better for Olivia Hung.
Just hung on to that. And when you are playing in such windy conditions, it's very handy to have just grown up playing along with the wind, playing with the wind, knowing what to do, not really having to think about it. It just comes more naturally to you to be able to flight the golf ball down and imagine shots. Look at that yardage book, hold on to it, might get blown into the sea.
Yeah, she's been based in Australia since she was 10 years old, although nowadays more over in the United States, Janeth Wong, given the fact that she is at Pepperdine. Sixteenth hole with the 16-year-old Kaya Delawata.
Opting for 3 wood to be short of the bunkers down the right-hand side. Oh, the wind might get that one as well. That's heading left. Oh, cart path. And now down that left-hand side. It's luck of the draw, really. It's so well manicured, isn't it, on the fairways, but if you do go offline. And what can happen here is you'll start the ball at the bunkers and then have a little fear in there, so you'll just turn it over and then the wind catches it. Driver for Wong.
Yeah, they put her down for a par at the last hole, not a birdie, so she is still 3 under par. Nice putt nonetheless, and a nice tee shot there from her.
Yeah, she's got a low ball flight.
Well, growing up in well, I say growing up, being in Australia since she was 10 and playing some. Now this is a horrible position.
Can't see where you're going. Come back down from that slope. Oh, you could get lost in those bunkers, couldn't you?
Yeah, to her compatriot, Pimada Wong Vimok, just off the back of her first drop shot of the day, but in good position here at 16. Just going to hit a provisional here, Delawata. Obviously be hoping to find that first one. The Nepal Women's Amateur Open champion.
Having the driver now, isn't she? She tried to play sensible with the 3-wood and messed it up. She's now thinking, why did I not just take that? Oh, for a second serve, like in tennis. Gratian willing this one to go down the slope. It will do, don't worry.
Struggling today, 6 over par. Yeah, one or two have seen their hopes dashed already on day one. Plenty those still in the chase, including Jian Lin. On the other side of the course, Olivia Hung. Wonderful. Well, that's an excellent 2 from Olivia. That's just a 12th birdie of the day at that par 3.
Just comes off the shoulder. I'll mention it again. It's the pace of these putts that are just holding their line.
Well, looks like ball is found here.
Yeah, on the 18th, so this is the waist area that sits in between fairway and green. Zhang just trying to hack it out. She's done well.
Yeah, that wasn't clever, but giving herself a chance at least. Karpatanas with a beautiful up and down. That was a tasty sand save.
Oh, is that Svei in the left-hand fescue by the cart path there, obviously trying to go for this par 5 in 2, 537 yards downwind. It'll be on the upslope, so that will help with it stopping. The pin is on the left-hand side. Has got 10 yards of green to work with short. Oh, she's flushed it. Get down.
These are the last few groups that are out on the course. They've got a fairly quick turnaround as well. And she has found the original one, Kaya Delawata, but Janith Wong is playing right now. And come on, giving herself another birdie look.
Well, the lie looks good, but she is a long way back here and into a stiff wind coming from the sea. Needs to trap this one. She did. too well. That's a shame. That was some golf shot that she hit there. She will be surprised to see how far that has gone through the back.
So still a chance to save her par here, the New Zealand player.
Just wants to favour the left-hand side here of the pin. It's all downhill from there.
In her third year at Arizona is Pomada, or Nina as she's known.
106 yards. Oh, just fanned that one up into the wind and took the sting out of it. She'd have liked that one to have been twice as close as that. Oh, that is classy there. Playing ping pong across the 18th green, but finishing up with a tap-in par.
And she's enjoyed herself today, hasn't she? A smile never far from her face. And we've seen some really big moments from her. The hole out was at 12 and nearly finishing the day in style, Jing Han Tui. But a 70 that leaves her under par heading into round 2.
Yeah, she looks like she's enjoyed it out there and rose to the challenge and hasn't let the elements get the best of her. Even there with that shot in, she could have easily have made bogey, but just scrambled superb. Zhang looking to do the same here, a downhill par putt. She was also in the sand. Successful there. Good save.
Yeah, that was a battling 5 at the last for Emma Zheng on a difficult day. Just a couple of birdies on the card. The 7 at the par 5 7th, doing a lot of damage. A lovely view over at 16. This is the final 3-ball that went out this afternoon off the first. As you said, Dalawata was a little unfortunate to finish over here.
The lie looks good coming from the tight fairway. Just wants to pitch this and have it feel like it's just going to stop rolling at the top of the ridge that comes about 7 yards short of the pin, and then have it trickle down. Look at that, that's a great view of it.
Had a little look. Just didn't get the grab. Final hole. Is it the final shot for Sakura Tori?
Bogey birdie finish for a round of 69 for Tori. It's been a good 3-ball that, and a well-deserved high 5.
Back at 16. Wong Tana Vimok for her birdie 3. Not only good at golf, but apparently very good at in languages as well. Can speak Thai, English and Mandarin. So may need her for a few of the interviews as the week goes on.
From right to left.
Yeah, but it is a big advantage, isn't it, as a golfer, an international golfer, that you have those linguistic abilities.
It is, those two as well in life, isn't it? The amount of people that speak Chinese, and then coming over if you want to go and play LPGA Tour, if you want to go to the American colleges or come over to Europe. It's just something that you just don't have to put the pressure on yourself to learn. I mean, if she was to win this week, she'll be traveling the world, being able to speak to everybody, and it makes the golf a lot easier as well when you're comfortable off the course and with your playing partners. This would be some par.
Yeah, always in trouble off that tee shot, Delawata, but unfortunately a bogey for her. Slips back to +3 now. Playing partners both 3 under, so feel like she's having a poor day when really 3 overs, not too bad a score. Finishing off on the other side of the course. Chanya.
Flag 34 on, 9 from the left. After that good par save on the 8, she's got that birdie chance to come.
Well, that one was for birdie. Super putt on the last for par. And Janeth Wong is 4 under now.
Bogey free. Come into the clubhouse at the end, you go in the locker room and someone says about the round, you say, oh, I didn't have a bogey. It's like, really? This afternoon? So she'll be hoping to keep hold of that record with 2 holes left to play.
Yeah, Higo Leon had a bogey-free round in the morning wave, as did Anna Iwanaga of Japan. They're both in that group round in 65 at 6 under par, 1 shot behind the leader, Seo Jin Park, the world-ranked 281st player on her women's amateur Asia-Pacific debut, with just the 1 drop shot on her card. Sumin Oh, name to look out for, 68 from her this morning. Will be among the players we'll be watching tomorrow afternoon. Faith Lee there, the 19-year-old from Samoa, putting a really good score together as well. Over to 18 then. In reach for Yijie Lin.
And that she does, comfortably on the green as the sun starts shining over that eagle putt. Oh, downwind par 5 to finish, yes please. Having just battled your way through 16 and 17 into the wind.
Yeah, a number of local caddies being used here. Of course, in fabulous condition, isn't it? So big thumbs up to Long Nguyen, the course superintendent here. Worth noting that 60% of the greenkeeping staff here are female as well.
You're saying that's why it's so good?
Probably, yeah.
No, it's the initiative, isn't it? Of, you know, we've got lots of referees from all different countries. We've got some from Mongolia, 2 of them, which is great for the development of the officials. And then we're looking at female greenkeepers, female caddies, and you have to say the standard of the women's amateur Asia Pacific it's up there. It really is some quality golfers. We only have to look back at the winners and where they are now in their careers. We're at the 7th edition of this event.
Well, there's 3 former players from the fields in the past that have gone on to win majors. There's 10 players that have gone on to win on the LPGA Ladies European Tour as well. So yeah, and bearing in mind this is only the 7th edition, so that's only going to go up and up over the years.
126, playing 146 yards, 7 iron for Wong.
chance maybe to pick up another birdie or two coming home for the Malaysian.
Chip and run for Gashon here from left to right down the slope. Very tidy.
Pimada now. Wong Tanner Vimok looking to match Wong. Nice looking swing. Right over the flag. Well, sorry, the lantern.
We'll get there in the end. By Sunday, we'll have nailed this.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
What do you say? Can you just get the flag to the caddy? Just get the lantern?
Yeah. Olivia Hung, who we saw make a lovely birdie at 8. Just left herself a little bit of work to finish with a par.
Balanced golf swing, looking it up and down. Great distance control. Looking for a bounce back birdie.
Well, this is at the final hole of the day, the par 4 9th. Kalpata Naskun with an opportunity for a round of 67.
Oh, everything but left hand low. See how square those shoulders are, and just rocks them.
Well, just the one drop shot on the card. And a round of 68 for Kalpata Naskun, so very nicely done from the tie, day 1. Let's have a look back at some of the highlights of the day. Was this your pick of the day's play?
Ashaya Srirong with a hybrid, just nestling in tight there. I like this 18th hole. The fact it's reachable, it's going to prove some excitement. No, there was a putt, wasn't there?
This is it.
This one?
This is it from Tway, yeah. Look at this. Indicator on. Pick it out of the hole. I love the celebration as well.
Well, it's the shock, isn't it? I mean, that is such a difficult putt to hole, and finds it.
Yeah,
Goes in the left half of that hole, doesn't it? Then Rurong into 9. She just birdied 8. That one finishing round the back of the cup. Taps that one in, and that changes the mindset for the back 9.
Ping Hua Xie rolling in a putt here. And what was a very nice day for her as well. Round of 68 from the player from Chinese Taipei. And Janeeth Wong has got herself right into position at 4 under par.
Jazzy Roberts, her final hole of the day. Hit a good putt, just didn't quite convert, but she is 2 back and went out in the afternoon. So a round of 67 from the Australian. A superb effort in these strong winds.
Yeah, Higo Lee and the compatriots at 6 under. Ariana Lau, one of those that finished with a round of 65 earlier today. One of the players who started the week is one of the favourites out there.
Sojin Park there, unfortunately bogeyed her final hole, but it was still a round of 64, and she leads by 1.
Yeah, lovely round from her. And as you mentioned, it was a super effort this afternoon from Jazzy Roberts. And we can hear from the Australian after her 66.
Well, fantastic opening round of 66. Can you take us through what was working so well for you out there today?
I think I got off to a pretty good start, made some birdies early on, and then kind of kept the train going. I was hitting lots of shots close and was managing to roll a few putts in, which is nice because my putting hasn't been great the last few months. Yeah, we'll see how we go tomorrow.
Well, obviously the afternoon conditions were quite a bit tougher than the morning wave. Were you aware of the morning top score, and were you keeping that as a benchmark for your performance today?
Honestly, I had no idea until I got through the 18th and I had a quick look at the leaderboard. I was a few back then, but I think the leader's at 7 and I had 5 today, so we'll see how tomorrow goes.
Well, you managed to catch up very well, and this golf course is a very unique golf course. Do you like Malixi style? Does it suit you?
It's a little bit different to what I'm used to back at home. The greens are very big here and you have to hit it in the right spot on them to make sure you give yourself the best chance at making as many birdies as you can, but I think it's always a good challenge. So yeah.
You had a really good finish at the Vic Open, finishing the top amateur. That must have given you the confidence coming into this.
Yeah, it was quite windy down there as well the last few days, so I think being able to play with the professionals and see what they do, both men and women, I think obviously a great experience, and I've always enjoyed playing those events.
Well, thanks so much and best of luck the rest of the week.
Virada Nirapatpong with the questions there to Jazzy Roberts. Janeth Wong gets her birdie again and joins Roberts on the mark of -5.
It's a second 2 of the day and the only player this afternoon that is bogey free. How does that not break back from left to right at the end?
Pimada Wong Tanavimok to tidying up for her 3. Playing with Janeth Wong, who is just ticking along nicely. They still got the par 5 18th to play. Been a good first day, hasn't it, Sophie? And we've shown that, you know, calm conditions, big scores are out there. Windy like this, you've got to be right on top of things.
You have, but I think the more you play this golf course, the more you will learn how to use the contours of the green, but you have to take advantage when the wind is down in the morning. The players that we watched this afternoon, they've got to go out and shoot in the 60s.
64, the low number of the day. That came from CEO Jin Park. The 7th edition of this Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow for day 2.